Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk with you a little bit about another yarn that has been hot on the market, and that is the Lion Brand Color Made Easy yarn. I have a lot of thoughts, so sit down with your favorite hot cup of tea or coffee, maybe grab a snack, settle in, and we will get started. Okay, first things first. This yarn is a lot. You get a lot of yarn, but you definitely pay a larger price. When I walked into Michael's to pick up this yarn because I had been seeing on Instagram that a lot of people were finding it at their local craft stores, I was like, let me go try Joann. It wasn't there, so I went ahead and headed over to Michael's because it's not too far from the Joann in my town. So I went over to Michael's, I walked in, and I am not kidding you, I went, oh, when I saw how much it was. $7.99 for a ball of this yarn. Now, let's break it down a little bit. You've got 247 yards of yarn in one skein. It's a bulky size 5 yarn, so definitely a little on the thick side, as you can see here, okay? It comes in lots of different colors, obviously given by the name Color Made Easy. If you were to make a sweater, you would need approximately 5 balls. If you were to make a blanket, you would need around 6 balls. I'm not sure what blanket measurement they would base 6 balls off of. And then a scarf, you can do a scarf with just 1 ball. Here's the thing. This is expensive. This is definitely on the more expensive side, and for that price, I was expecting much more soft feeling than I got. This is a 100% acrylic yarn, and it is thicker. It is, there are lots of color options, which is great because it really stinks whenever you find a yarn that you love. Like, for instance, if you saw my latest video, yarn chat, where I was talking about jeans yarn, I said it's one of my favorites. I just love it, but it doesn't come in that many colors. So that's a super bummer. And one of the pros of this is that there are lots of color options, but you're not getting that much more. I was looking for one of my jeans yarn skeins, but you're not getting that much more yardage, and you're paying almost $8, which is just, I don't know. If I'm being honest, like, that's a lot. I feel like there are other yarns that are just as comparable, that have just as good of a color option choice, and that give you equal amounts of yardage that are a little bit more on the cost-effective side. That's just, I'm being honest. I'm letting you know that that's my honest opinion. I honestly was shocked. Oh, right here. Okay, so I went ahead and I made up a swatch for you guys. Readjusting here. So I made up a swatch, and the color is very pretty. I'm a sucker for purple, so this is gorgeous. And all I did was just a simple single crochet, several rows. And so as you can see, the stitch definition, there's definitely payoff with stitch definition. There's decent stretch, not too bulky. Okay, but I didn't wash it, which I do plan on doing that. And if you follow me on Instagram, I'll give kind of a little bit of a review of what I think after it is washed up. But one thing that I noticed, do you remember in the jeans episode where I talked about how once you go to cut the yarn, it kind of starts to come unraveled? Well, the thing is the same here with the Color Made Easy. It starts to come unraveled, so you're going to have to make absolute certain that you really weave in those ends. Otherwise, this bad boy is going to come undone, and then your garment's going to fall apart, or your blanket, or whatever it is that you're making, so you don't want that. It is a bulky yarn, and I have made sweaters. I'm going to speak specific to garments right now. I've made sweaters in size 5, size 6 yarns, and here's just the honest truth. Size 5 and size 6 yarns, if you are not rail thin, they're going to make you look bigger. And as a mom of 7, I definitely have lots of little nooks and crannies I would like to hide. And so putting a bulky 5 or 6 weight yarn on my body is not the best idea. So I would not recommend making a garment in this. That's just my honest thought. Maybe a cardigan. I take that back. I may make a cardigan, but it's going to be heavy and it's going to be dense. And so if you live in a place where you don't really get a lot of cold, that's just not going to be your thing. This yarn, I really believe, will be great for blankets, for thicker beanies, especially if you are a market prep person and you sell at markets. This is going to probably give you, depending on the beanie that you make, if it's a knit beanie, you're going to get more out of the skein. But if you were going to make beanies out of this, I would say you would get anywhere from 2 to 3 beanies, depending on the intensity of the stitch and depending on the sizes that you make. So you break that down, that's like $8 for one skein. What are you going to charge for your beanies? You know, is it really worth your money? That's just something to consider if you go to market and you're looking for like a bigger yarn payoff to get your stuff. Now, if you're getting wholesale, which that's a whole nother thing, then getting something like Color Made Easy might be the best option for you. It is 100% acrylic, so for me, making a beanie out of this would be perfect. It's not going to make my head itch. I've told you guys before, we have allergies to animal fibers, and so we really, while those yarns are so beautiful, we can't wear them. We itch. And so if you have sensitivity to animal fibers, this is going to be a great option for you. And like I said, if you're selling at market, I would use this if you could get it at wholesale price or a little bit cheaper, because it is on the costly side. But if you're just making it for personal use or as gifts or something, you're going to be able to get at least 2, maybe even 3 beanies out of something like this. And like the tag said, you can for sure get 1 scarf. So $8 for 1 scarf, that's pretty comparable to Walmart if you want to talk about supplies, but you also do have to include the hours that it would take to make the item. So that starts to add things up and it winds up being well over $8 if you're looking at it from that standpoint. But if you're making a gift, none of that stuff really matters. It's just the thought of what you're doing and who you're making it for. I know that was kind of a little bit of a business tangent, but I just wanted to add that in there. And something else that I'm trying to do in these yarn chats is give you a little bit more information and insight, because some of you might be utilizing this information because you're wanting to make things to sell. Some of you may be doing it just for personal reasons, like you're just curious, or maybe you live in a different part of the world and you can't get your hands on these kind of yarns, but you've seen them and you just wonder, like, what's the real deal with this type of stuff? So that's why I'm trying to be really well-rounded and giving you all of the information that I can think of in regards to the yarn. Like I said, the color is very pretty, and they had tons of color options. In fact, when I was at Michael's and I was standing there looking at all the color options, I think I picked up like 4 or 5 different colors before I decided on this one. And so I was like, oh, we're still in the month of February. I'll go ahead and I'll get something that's kind of, you know, love, feminine, that type of a thing. And so that's how I landed on this kind of lavender. And let me see if, I don't know where my paper went. I dropped my paper. Oh. Here it is. So this color is Prism, and it is definitely very beautiful. Let me brighten up here just a bit. So it's definitely very beautiful. I think it is a gorgeous color, and like I said, the color options were stunning. They were very, very pretty. It was just that sticker price that I was just, oh my gosh, like shocked to see, especially when I saw the yardage. Now, one of the yarns that I love that's a little bit thicker, it does peel, which this one, if you see, let me see if I can hold it up against my hand. I might have to lower the brightness down just a tad. It doesn't have any peeling, or let me hold it against my black. There's no pilling whatsoever, even though it's an acrylic. There is no pilling whatsoever. So that is a huge plus. Now, one of the yarns that I would compare to this to that is a little more cost effective, actually I'll give you 2 different ones. So Red Heart With Love, they have a With Love that's not chunky, and then just a With Love that's just With Love. Those usually run close to 375 yards in a skein, and they're right around $3.99, $4.99, something like that. So you're getting way more, and the With Love, the chunky doesn't have quite as many color options, but the regular With Love definitely does. And then if you are in Joann, they also have their in-house brand called Big Twist. They have a chunky version that is very similar to this, and it's going to run you around $2.99, $3.99. And they usually are always having sales, especially if you have the Ibotta app. You can always get really good deals on the in-house yarn. And honestly, this yarn really reminded me of the Big Twist Chunky, because a couple of years ago when I made the alpine blanket that everyone just fell in love with, I made it using the Big Twist yarn, and it was just like this. It had like a little slight sheen to it. The spin was a little different. The spin on the Big Twist doesn't come apart like this. It's a little more tight. So that is one thing that's different. And then obviously the price point is very different. The Big Twist is a little more economical and budget friendly. You don't get quite as many yards in that one. I think, I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's pretty close. Like I said, it's comparable. So you can definitely, like for the baby blanket that I made with the alpine using the Big Twist yarn, I think it was like eight or 10 that I used to create the baby blanket as I was going back and forth with stripes. So it wound up being like roughly 4 of each color. So again, this isn't a terrible yarn. I don't want you to think that. I don't want you to think that I'm saying, oh, it's gross, don't ever use it. That's not the case. I just don't want you to be shocked at the price like I was, because I really was expecting it to be right around $4 or $5, which I thought would have been fair. But it wasn't. It was higher than that. And so I was just kind of shocked. And so if you want to get your hands on this kind of yarn for personal use, I would say hold out for a really good deal on the Lion Brand website. It's important that you subscribe to their newsletter or follow them on Instagram, because they're always letting you know when they get really good sales and deals going on in their yarns. And that's probably going to be when you would want to snag something like this, if you're just wanting to play around with it and test it out. Or if you're like me and you just want to buy one skein, definitely utilize a coupon. Like at Michael's, I use the 40% off coupon, which is great. So if you can get it where you get somewhat of a discount, do it. Try it out for yourself. Don't let me sway you. I want you to try it for yourself and then let me know. Do you think I'm totally wrong? Do you love it? If so, that's awesome. Everybody has a yarn preference, right? We all have the ones that we love. I know that, like I said, Jean's yarn from Lion Brand is one of my absolute favorites. That's what I use to design the sweater that I'm wearing today. Some people don't like Jean's yarn, and that's totally fine. Everybody has a preference, but I'm just letting you know my honest thoughts and opinions, what I think about it. Do I think it is worth the time and the money? Yes, especially if you want to do gifts. I think it could be great because you could definitely get multiple things. If you're doing small stuff, you get multiple things and you have lots of color options. It's great for that. But again, me personally, because I try to gravitate more towards the figure flattering stuff, I don't think I would use it for garment design, just because it is bulkier. And the bulkier the yarn, the bulkier you look. So nobody's really trying to look bulkier. I don't think that's anybody's goal. At least it's not my goal. But if you wanted to do like a cozy cardigan for just lounging around the house, or if you wanted to make a blanket, I think it would be fabulous. Again, the swatch swatched up really well. As you can see, there's great stitch definition. There's great elasticity. And it kind of goes back, as you see, if I stretch it out, it goes back pretty well. I didn't do a wash of this swatch, which I should have, but I plan on doing that, and I will share it on Instagram. So be sure you head below into the description box, click on my Instagram link, and go follow me there so that I can help to update you, give you more ideas, insights, whatever that I might share regarding this or any other yarns that I do. I know this was a quick video, but again, don't think that I'm being mean to Lion Brand. I'm not. I love them. They have been a company that has supported me. But for you, the viewers, I want to be honest. I want you to know what I truly think. And one of the things is like, it's expensive. And, a lot of us as makers, we don't have a lot of money to throw at different yarns. And so making sure that we're investing our money wisely and getting the best bang for our buck, I think is important. And so I want to be able to share that with you. So again, thank you so much for watching. I hope that this was informative. If you have any thoughts, comments, or questions, be sure to head down below and let me know. If there are other yarns that you would like me to review, let me know those too. And yeah, I hope that you are having a great day. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on post notifications and become a part of the Yarniacs family. If you didn't already know, Yarniacs is kind of the name that several of you helped me name our little community here, because we are all crazy about yarn. even if it is a little bit expensive. We are crazy about it. And so I really would love to see you join our community, and be sure that you tune in every Sunday where I go live and I just kind of chit chat. And then also be sure to tune in at the end of each month where I have a monthly favorites video. And this month in particular, I have something fun that I'm announcing, so you won't want to miss that. Okay, I'm done talking. You have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.